All right, before you freak out or get a little bit panicked about these price increases that I remembered happened on this day, it's now October 1st, 2023. And we'd known about this for quite a while, starting back in about April. The news had hit the wire that prices in Japan for just about everything were going to be going up October 1st. And it was far enough away that we're like, oh, okay, that's 6 months in advance. But now it's here. And for those of you that are still coming to Japan in the future, you still do have a chance to get and snag a ticket that might be cheaper. I think you have like a couple of hours. Some of the websites I see online still have the older prices. Let me see here. This is JTB USA. A couple of the other websites. I'll pull this up right here. They still have the older prices. I think this is JTB USA. There's also Klook and a bunch of other sites that you might want to buy your JR Rail Pass. If you're coming in the next like month or so, it might be a pretty good option considering the fact that the price doesn't really matter. You have, I think it was 1 month or 3 months to validate it. Make sure you read the fine print before you click the buy button, because you might save a significant amount of money by buying your pass now if you're coming. I guess it is October, November, maybe even December. Again, read the fine print. But I reported on this a few months ago, and I was shocked and devastated and not sympathetic to you for having to pay more because I can't get those rail passes in Japan. And then I realized that it wasn't just a JR Rail Pass, which is this one on the screen, which is the entire country. This is a 14-day rail pass, and you can see it says 47,250 yen. The price of that is going up significantly. And let me pull it up right here. Again, this is from a couple of months ago. The 14-day pass is going up from 47,000 to 80,000 yen. That's a significant jump, and those 33,000 yen more can buy like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or like 2 weeks in a capsule hotel maybe. You know, that's a lot of bread for people to spend. The 7-day pass, it also receives a pretty significant, all of them, about 68 to 70 some percent increases. And you know, I'll pull this up again in a couple of minutes. But it's you know, the day is here. But it's not just Japan Rail that is increasing the prices. Believe it or not, everything across the board, it seems like, has gone up. And the purchasing power of the Japanese yen has absolutely gone down. Right now, we're sitting at 149.3 yen to the dollar. It's ridiculous. Here, I'll pull it up on my laptop here. I always just Google USD JPY, which is USD, the Japanese yen, and the US dollar. There it is on the screen. That's the exchange rate right now, and you can see it's just getting worse for me here. It did dip a little bit. I think Japan manipulated the currency and bought some money, but over the last year, you can see it was high last October. It went down, and now it's back up at record levels again. I haven't seen this since 1998 and last year. So if you're going to buy yen, I would say, yeah, buy it now. Why not? Because I don't think it's good. I'm almost positive that Japan is going to step in, and it's not going to get above 150 much. All right. With that, and the Japanese consumer, which is me, I live here, but I make yen, and I go to the supermarket. I'm shocked. I went in there one of the reasons I'm doing this live stream in particular. I went in there and I checked out the prices in the supermarket, and everything went up, including beer, which thankfully I kind of quit. But the new wave of price hikes are here. You can see it's painful. It really is. It's a painful thing. This is Japan Today. This is an article that came out today. We're going to be seeing a lot of people recycling the stuff from last April when this came out. And the households are getting just hammered right now. We have not seen inflation in Japan really at the same level as the US. Today we feel it for the first time. It says here that 4,500 food items have gone up. which is really hard. And a new liquor tax has come into effect October 1st to add to that. So yeah, thankfully I don't drink anymore like I used to. The one day, this is interesting, the one day high season pass tickets for Tokyo Disneyland are up to 9,400 yen per adult. Now they're going to cost 16,900 yen. Wait, did I get that right? Did I get that? Did I just read that right? Wait a second. Wait, did I just read that right? Hold on. Disney is increasing the prices by that much? How do I go back? I guess I just have to replay this. Disney's increasing the prices by 40%. Is that right? That doesn't seem right. So me, Kanai, and Leo just went to Tokyo Disneyland last week. And here, I'm going to play this again, this clip. And I got a computer right here. Is that right? Ticket prices. I didn't realize that it was going to be that much today. Holy smokes. So if this news is right here, that's a significant increase for Japanese families. It says here, it's just coming up on the screen here. One day high season ticket for Tokyo Disneyland, currently 9,400 yen per adult, will cost 10,900. Okay. So it's going up by 1,500 yen. If it was 16,000 yen, and I can understand why they would do that because the dollar is so strong. Tokyo Disneyland is a steal for everybody who's coming to visit Japan because it's way cheaper than Disneyland in the United States. All right, that's a relief off of my brow here because I can still go. I think if they'd raise it that much based on the US dollar, which would be wrong because this is Japan, I probably would never go to Disney again. Going back to the JR Rail Pass increases here, if you haven't seen it right now, you're going to start to see it maybe tomorrow, depending on where you are in the world. Right now, I didn't see the price hike, but according to my talk with the Japan JR Windows, the people working at the staff there, they told me that this price hike is going ahead. So I've yet to see the price increases, but they're supposed to. Maybe on Monday. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. I'm going to keep this up here. The green car, which is also a disappointment for some of you. A few of you do like the green car. That's gone up even more. So I still think it's worth it if you want to get the green car. I still think it might be worth it for those. It just depends how you use the pass. And in a couple of minutes, we'll talk about that. Because I think that a lot of you might be saying, oh, now the JR Rail Pass is not even worth it. But if you do the math and you see your options, it still sort of is, depending on how you use it. Don't forget about the price hikes on the regional passes. I know I'm going to talk about that too, but they're not as significant as the JR Rail Pass increases, but they're significant enough that they hurt. And I want to bring everybody down to earth on this. It seems like a really high one. If you are coming to Japan only because of the price of the JR Rail Pass, then you're coming to Japan for the wrong reasons, man. It's only like $100. Your airfare here went up, okay? But people are complaining about an increase on the rail passes, and they're saying, oh, I'm not going to Japan now. Yeah, you are. Right now, the tourist numbers to Japan, well, okay, don't come. But the tourist numbers to Japan right now are higher than they've ever been. It's considered the #1 tourist destination right now in the world. It's never been higher. The people that want to come here are coming here, and if you don't want to, you don't have to. But they're good. I don't think Japan really has much of a choice but to raise the prices. And the weak yen is one of the driving factors of it. We have to be honest with you. And I heard from some people, some corporations, that in the tourist industry, the stronger dollar is making an impact, and Japan does not see that the yen is going to get stronger anytime soon. So that means that, of course, they're going to take advantage of the fact that you're paying less money, but they can't raise the prices on domestic Japanese products, so they will on things like the JR Rail Pass. And one of the biggest things that's impacting me right now is this. So I got some good news from this organization here. This is Japan Post. I'm a huge fan of the post office. I love the people who work here, not just in Japan, but at USPS and all over the world, because they do a job where it's more and more getting squeezed out by digital stuff and other carriers, and I want the mail to stick around. So I do have the postcard club. Where is it? Today is the last day, if that, for you to get the ones from Hiroshima. Do you even have? How do I not have that here? So I have the Hiroshima postcards, which are really cool. It's the atomic bomb blast train, and the Genbaku Dome, the atomic bomb dome in the background. Today's the last day for that. But I've been sending packages and postcards from Japan for a long time. However, I saw this notice which says, "Hey, everybody, we're going to raise the prices October 1st." I think I have a video as well, which is an unfortunate video. As I pushed the button to discover some of the information. Yeah, going to the United States, there's going to be a price hike. With that said, small packet rates have returned, so I no longer need to send the daimyo via EMS, which would arrive in 3 to 5 days. Now they're going to arrive in 7 to 10 days at a reduced rate, but the rate has been increased. So it's, I don't know. Japan Post has, they're trying to do the best to stay alive, and they're not doing very well. I can tell you that right now. They're not making much money. People are sending less mail, texting, all the services and stuff. That was some writing on the wall, but the other services as well. And the competition too. People are using the other services. Amazon has freelancers that are now delivering things, so they don't need to use Japan Post. A lot of corporations are moving away from Japan Post, which is some ways inefficient, although they're everywhere. And they're also a bank, which is what helps Japan Post. Japanese, in particular, the older generation, save a lot of money. There are like trillions of dollars in the Japanese banking system from older people who don't spend their money, but they save it. Not everybody is rich like that, but there's a lot of paper millionaires. And I say paper because they don't spend their money, and they're millionaires, and they live humbly because they lived through an era where they didn't have to spend a lot of money, or spending, they were quite frugal with their money, so these luxury goods are not a thing that they would ever consider. Luxury cars, luxury homes, even though that they've got $1 million or several $1 million in the bank, it just sits there as security to alleviate risk, which is part of what Japan is all about. So if they said if the elderly, the senior citizens just spent 1% more, that the Japanese economy would be booming. That's how much money is in savings right now. That's just sitting there. We don't have a consumer debt problem like the U.S. does with credit cards and all that. People are a little bit more responsible, but we're getting there. The younger generation is getting there. But regardless, let's go back to the Japan Post. They're a bank, so they've got a lot of revenue. They've got a lot of source money in there. The interest rates are like 0.001%, which is set at inflation, but now the interest rates are below inflation, so people who leave their money in the bank are losing money right now because inflation is well above the percentage there. So maybe there's hope that Japanese consumers will start to spend more domestically, and that could raise prices. This would also mean that Japanese workers would be getting pay raises, because although inflation is happening here in Japan, people are not getting pay increases. Corporations are not raising the prices because people are not buying as much because there's uncertainty in the market. It's a hard situation here domestically. For you that are visiting, you're going to start to see it more. Now, you're still getting a ridiculous deal. Everybody that visited this summer is getting got a ridiculous deal. That's not going to stick around forever. We're getting prices, again, as I said, all these products from the supermarket are getting price increases. This comes from the Japan Times. This is from, I guess, April. Japan to see price hikes on 35,000 food and drink items by the end of 2023. Some of those price hikes I've already seen, and it hurts a lot. I mean, we feel it. The food trucks are starting to increase prices as well, and I feel bad for them because they don't want to, but just they have to pay for the fuel and for the stuff. Japan is an island country. It is. You can't go get around that. And that means that almost everything is imported here. Almost everything is imported to Japan. So that means that we have to buy stuff at 149 yen to the dollar, in particular if we're buying from the US. But that means Japanese companies based in the US are making a killing. So there's no excuse for not raising the wages of the workers there. But for a lot of industries here, we're getting killed because of the inflation and the weak yen, both those things. And man, I feel really bad. We're gonna see some companies probably go under unless they're. No, you probably don't know this. In the Japanese parliament, there are measures here and stimulus packages that are going to be passed through. The prime minister's approval ratings is probably going to take a massive hit after today because we're starting to see. It's one thing to say that there's going to be price increases, but then when you start to see it and feel it, yeah, the popularity of the Japanese government is going to go way, way down over the next couple of weeks. I got a feeling as people start to travel domestically and feel the hurt. So we have here the food and beverages and the things, the prices of the food. It was already really cheap for you travelers, so it's not going to be such a big increase because I bet you it's going to be incremental, and the Japanese government's going to try to find ways to alleviate the pain in the first few months because it hits like a sledgehammer to a lot of businesses. It's just anytime you get the government involved to get the money out of them, it requires a ton of paperwork and it's just painfully long and sometimes it's not even worth it. So I feel really bad for a lot of small businesses, and I'm one of them. And I have an assistant that I have to pay, and I definitely have to pay her more because not only does she do so much for this channel, she's a super hard worker, and the cost of living is going up. So, I got to think about that too. So when you come and you buy your rail pass, I want you to think about a couple of things. One, because I want to talk about the rail passes now that you have a better understanding of the situation behind it all. And let's look at images of the beautiful Shinkansen as we do this here. All right, so there's the magnificent Shinkansen going by. It's worth it, right? We all want to ride the fast. I didn't speed that up. That's the normal speed, I think. Japanese Shinkansens are an adventure in themselves, and you kind of want to ride that if you do come to Japan. And I highly recommend that you take a Shinkansen at least once or twice. But the rail passes pay off for themselves. But you don't ask me. Stop emailing me and asking me. Okay, maybe I think I sped that up. Stop asking me if it's worth it. All right? Stop asking me. I get I get maybe 20 emails a day, which isn't on this. I get a bunch on Instagram and my regular email, but can you tell me if the JR Pass is worth it? I don't know where you're going. I don't know what your price, what your budget is. I don't know. What I want you to do is I want you to get a calculator, and I want you to do the math by Googling it. You have to do this when you plan your trip. You can't rely on me to do this as a service for you if you're not even on Patreon with the Postcard Club, which I would be happy to help you if you were to join the Postcard Club. I send these postcards out. Where is the Hiroshima one? Maybe I'll help you if you join the Postcard Club. What? Oh, here? Yeah. This is the postcard for that. You can still get it until I think for another hour and a half. I'll send this to you right away. This is from the video that I sent. And there's a picture of Sasaguchi-san on the back. Is it worth it? Not really though, writes in peso. I think it's worth it if you're traveling long distances and the Shinkansen is one of the cornerstones of your traveling. The problem is that JR had, when the tourism returned, in particular during the cherry blossoms, Shinkansen trains were ridiculously crowded. And I think people forgot that they didn't need to bring everything in the kitchen sink with them. So travelers are coming with these massive suitcases as well, creating a lot of problems. Look, I know when you're at home, you had all these conveniences, but now when you travel, you don't need to bring that supersized suitcase. I think you could probably cut out 90% of that. All you need is a battery charger, a phone, a camera, and a toothbrush, and maybe a change of socks and underwear. You can buy everything here pretty cheap, even cheaper. And you can do the laundry, recycle some of the stuff, but there's no reason for you unless you're here on business or something. Now winter's coming, and you might need a jacket and more clothes, but you can wear the same thing every day. I sometimes do. But I get a washing machine here. I still wear this. I still wear the same thing pretty much every day. A black T-shirt or this one. It's got this like button here, kind of like. So, look. If you're traveling in 14 days and you're making the trip to Hokkaido and back, I recommend that you fly. I recommend if you book 45 days in advance, you can get a really like $100, less than $100 domestic flight. That saves you so much time, and then you can do regional passes. But if you're making the Shinkansen as part of your experience, and a lot of you do, and I think it's a good idea if you like trains, it pays for itself, man. Do the math. One ticket going to Hakodate and back is like 50,000 yen, and that's majority. That's more than half of a 14-day pass. Now you'd be crazy to do that in a day trip, but that's how much the Shinkansen actually is, and people are doing that. And they hadn't raised the prices for the JR Rail Pass in a very long time, and I think that if they just done it 5% every year, but the thing is, Japan doesn't have inflation. It has deflation for a very long time, except over the last 2 years, last year. So we're starting to feel it more. But for you as a tourist, it's a shock right now, and I feel your pain because I read it, because I have to read it too, but I don't really feel your pain because I can't get that pass anyway. All right, Pig Bear Man writes in here, in Japan for the first time, love your videos. I'm going to Kanazawa now. Hey, anyone have good recommendations for things to do there or good bars? Higashi Chaya, I recommend going in the morning before the crowds. I'm not sure how crowded Kanazawa is, but I recommend definitely going to the market. That was one of the best experiences, and I think that's the Omichi market. Yeah, it's almost walking distance from Kanazawa Station. Everything in Kanazawa is almost walking distance. The Omichi market was really cool. There's good street food in there, and it does close early, but I highly recommend Higashi Chaya. And there's another street not too far away from the castle that you can go to, and Kenroku Park. But yeah, I'd recommend there. I wonder where you're staying too. There's some really good hotels in Kanazawa, some good local ryokan as well. Getting back to this, there's the Hokuriku Arch Pass, right? Which has become really, really popular. This is a pass that allows you to take Kanazawa and Kyoto. It's like a cultural pass. And I'm going to turn the camera around and show it to you. And one of the reasons why I'm inside instead of outside is because I want to make use of the fact that, I can use my in here. So this is the Hokuriku Arch Pass. And I think the price of the pass is still cheap. I don't think they've raised it yet, so you can still get it at a deal. But you have 7 days of consecutive unlimited pass for this amount of money, and this is so cheap. All right. And what it allows you to do is use the Shinkansen from Tokyo going towards Nagano and Karuizawa, which is a really awesome place. But it mostly hits Kanazawa here. You can also use the local trains in this region, by the way. And then from Kanazawa, you can take the super express trains to Kyoto and Osaka and Nara, and you can do Kansai region. So this hits a lot of the areas that many people are thinking about. Toyama is so beautiful as well, and as well as Nagano, which has the mountains, and Toyama is also really beautiful. Hakuba is not too far away. You have the Kurobe Alpine Route, Kenroku Park in Kanazawa, the Fukui Dinosaur Museum, the best dinosaur museum in the world, I think it is. The prices are still really relatively cheap, but this is better. A lot of people take the Tokaido Shinkansen going directly this way. But if you take the Arch Pass, you can stop off and use Kanazawa, and then you circle around to Kyoto, and you see so much of the Japanese countryside in this bit here, which I love. And a stop in Fukui, you can try their sauce katsudon, which is what they're famous for. It's so good. Breaded deep fried pork cutlet in this tangy sauce over a bed of rice. That is one of my favorite donburi over rice dishes here in Japan. And you can take that Thunderbird Express, which is this bird, this train here, which is a very comfortable. It's slower and more comfortable than the Shinkansen, I think. I prefer going slower than the Shinkansen. The price is going to go up for this, so I'm not sure by how much. But if you search on a JR site, you'll get all of the information. Here's all the train lines that activates through this pass. It is a really good pass, and it's become quite popular. Yeah. I would love to. I can't get that pass. It's only available to international tourists because they check the stamp in your passport. So you might want to consider that. Is there any reason for you to take the Tokaido Shinkansen? Yes, because you don't want to go to Kanazawa and it's just faster. But if you want to see some of the countryside, I recommend that you get away from Tokaido Shinkansen and go around via Kanazawa and see some more culture and countryside. That's probably the best way to do it. Yeah, and 7 days continuous. So, I mean, I think that's a lot of time to see everything in the Kansai region and Kanazawa and Nagano. So the Hokuriku Pass is probably the best one. The prices here is for the JR Rail Pass. So let me see, price increase. Changes for the passes, the overseas video. Okay, here I can show you what they all are here. So let's go over this, the price changes together, because it's better when we do it as a team. The price changes, as you can see, the East Pass goes up 10,000 yen, which is still a bargain, all right? It's still a bargain, but it's painful. I feel it, but I was getting a really good bargain. Think about my wife, Kanai. She can't even get these prices because she doesn't have a foreign passport. The Niigata area, this is a slight discount. I'm okay with that. The JR Wide Pass, that hurts, but I can see why, because you can do day trips to Utsunomiya for gyoza and then go to Karuizawa or Echiko-Yuzawa for the sake vending machines or something. You can do day trips, so you save. It's still a pretty good deal, but it's, again, it hurts. This, just don't ride the Narita Express is what this is. Just don't ride it. Take the bus. Send them a message, you know. Bus is 1,000 or 1,300 yen. It's so cheap, right? But that's still a good deal if you want to ride it. I'm trying to be an activist. The JR East-South Hokkaido Pass has gone up. That's not as big of an increase. I think they really want you to ride in Kyoto. And in this one, I can't get this pass. And this price increase is only 6,000 yen, and it's still, I think it's a pretty good deal. What else is there? The Tokyo Wide. It gives you some more information. I think the Hokuriku Pass was here, unless. Okay, so this is the JR East. So maybe I think the Hokuriku Pass is run by the JR West. This way, is run by the JR West. So that's why we don't see that. Let me see if I can pull up the JR West. West price increases. That's another thing that you really have to consider. JR is not an easy business. Can I still ride the Shinkansen? I don't know what you can ride, John. I think that you can. They're saying that the Nozomi Express now requires this is another change of JR. The Nozomi Express now requires a reserve ticket in busy periods. Maybe right now it's a weekday, so it's not going to need a reserve ticket. But I don't like reserve tickets. I prefer non-reserve because I live in Tokyo. It's the origin, so I can always get a seat. But now Nozomis are going to require reserve tickets during peak times, and that really stinks. All right, here we go, Japan Guide. Let's see what they have to say. Now, this comes from July. A lot of these price increases were announced well in advance. Yeah, so there's a seat reservation. So basically with the Japan Rail Pass that you guys have, you can get seat reservations for Nozomi by upgrading, but it's going to cost you. To Nagoya from Tokyo, it's 4,180 yen for like $30, which might be worth it if you want to get there, if you need to get there at a certain time. But for longer trips, it might be worth it because it's definitely saving you some time. 6,500 yen. On the Hikari Express trains aren't as frequent, right? So if you want to save a few hours, it might make sense to get this. But I don't know. The Japan guide doesn't say where's the Hokuriku. Here it is. The Arch Pass. Is it? Here it is. Hokuriku Area Tourist Pass. So that goes up to 20,000 yen. Oh, that's a different one. So the Arch Pass isn't mentioned here. See more passes. Okay, they have the price increases. The Nikko Pass, all the passes went up. It's not just JR. The Chubu, which is this pass area. All right, it seems like the Hokuriku Pass did not go up. Did it? That's a really good price. 24,500 yen, and the national pass for 7 days is 50,000 yen. So if you're just going to Kyoto, I see what they did here. So this is actually really useful information. It's interesting, right? The nationwide 7-day pass, this is the Tokaido Shinkansen going back and forth from Tokyo to Kyoto, is 50,000 yen for 7 days. The Hokuriku Pass is half that price. It'll get you to Kyoto, but you can't take the Tokaido Shinkansen. You got to go via Kanazawa, which is Kanazawa, which is probably a good idea. So let's pin that, okay? So forget the JR Rail Pass. If you're just going to Kyoto and Osaka, get the Hokuriku Arch Pass. The price was not increased, apparently. Is that right? Will go up once the extension of the Hokuriku Shinkansen to Tsuruga is complete. Okay, so Peso, thanks for that little information there, which is actually kind of big. I don't know if it's going to be a massive price increase, though, but they haven't raised that. So for the time being, if you're just going to Osaka and Kyoto and you have 7 days, get the Hokuriku Pass, okay? Get 2 of them if you want. You can buy them inside the country. You don't need a 14-day pass. Just buy another one. But, and by the way, it's called the Chubu area, which is the center of Japan, this kind of area between Tokyo and Osaka, going out there. You can only buy up to 7-day passes for that. So that price has stayed the same, which is kind of weird, right? So take advantage of it. There you go. I'll probably do another live stream next week with this information, just particular about the Hokuriku Pass. J Jersey Girl is here. People, if you want to visit Japan, you're going to have to spend money. I worked a second job overnight for a few months because of the things I wanted to do. I carried $3,000 in yen and other cards. I work in retail, can be done. Yes, I think if you're considering, and I'm somebody who loves Japan, and some people call me an unofficial ambassador and all this other stuff, I want you to come here. I absolutely want you to discover the beauty of Japan and what made this such an attractive place to visit for me. When I came to Japan, I fell in love with it. I did not fall in love with this place. I didn't like it at all, but it grew on me. And it's changed quite a bit over time, in particular for me personally, because now I'm married to somebody who's Japanese and I know the system better. But if you don't know the system, can be a hard place to live. Nevertheless, as a visitor here, you get the best of both worlds. You get this really safe, beautiful, delicious country to explore where there's adventures all over the place, a weak yen and a strong dollar, and great service. So I want everybody to come and experience the beauty of Japan that I know and bring you through the show. But you do have to spend money here, and things are going to be cheaper than they are at home. But this is still going to cost you something. Back in the 1980s and 90s, Japan did not get many tourists at all because it was one of the most expensive tourist destinations in the world. Now it is ridiculously cheaper. It's not cheap because there's still a lot of countries where Japan is quite expensive to visit, particularly those coming from Southeast Asia or from India. When you compare the living costs, Japan, of course, is one of the top countries with per capita income. People make money here that's quite high, so the standard of cost of living is much higher. But you can't get around that. But Japan right now has never been cheaper than it is right now. And anybody complaining about the prices, I have no sympathy for you. As somebody who lives here, as I said, inflation is a big, big problem right now. Wages have been stagnant. Even YouTube revenue is down, which is why I'm thankful for my Patreon supporters more and more. You know, I don't know if you're traveling for a vacation. I think you can consider other places like Thailand or Korea. I don't know. But Japan is just so darn good as an experience. If you're trying to save a couple of, you know, like a couple $100 after spending a couple thousand on your flight and you want to go somewhere else, I think it's a mistake. I think you need to reassess a lot of things. You know, maybe work a little bit harder. But I think Japan is worth the cost increases, and I think it's marginal for those that are coming here from the US with dollars. Maybe not for Australians and others that are coming here with currencies that aren't as strong, but the yen is still much weaker to almost every currency, and it does not look like it's going to change. As you're watching right now, I do have one quick request. If you wouldn't mind, go over and check out, YouTube's not suggesting it because it's a controversial theme. I don't think so. It's an inspirational story about a 92-year-old woman who was on the train 72 hours. She survived the atomic bomb, and I interviewed her about her experience. It's an incredible story. You know, she told me about the flash of light and the heat and everything, and what she saw afterwards. And then she went back to work 72 hours later on that train that's bombed out behind you. Well, actually, I don't know if it's that particular train, but that particular train is the same train that you see in the picture that's been repaired. There's a bombed out train where 89 people lost their lives in the bomb, and they've repaired it and put it back on 4 months after. Oh, so it wasn't the same train. But she was on a train working 72 hours later, and she told me her experience. And I want you to see this, please, and I want you to learn more about Hiroshima. It's a good story. It's not about, it's not what you think. All right, it's an inspirational story in a time of tragedy, and I'm really sad that YouTube is not suggesting this to anybody because it's a controversial theme. But you know, them's the breaks in the world. Chris Stradler, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate that very much. So check it out and leave me a comment and share some love with a like, and let YouTube know that this is a good video, because YouTube is not recommending it, and that's a shame, because I wanted her message. I made this more, when I make videos, I want to make it for them too. I want them to be proud of this video, and I want her story to be told. You know, I want this to make an impact in the world, and it's not, because YouTube sees it as a controversial topic. So some people say it's restricted, but I did a poll on Discord, and everybody said that it wasn't. In their country, it's just not being suggested, which massively hurts a video. Chris writes in here, always enjoy your work. Thank you, Chris. I'm glad that you're here. 1,000 yen is, 100,000 yen is like $670-ish, which feels not too much different than back then. I'm not sure if that's right. 100, yeah. Oh, Patrick, okay, the other way around. Yeah, 100,000 yen is not much money now. So when I go to the U.S., by the way, if you're in New Bedford or in Massachusetts, come out and see me. I'll be at the John Manjiro Festival in Fairview, or is it Fairhaven? I always get those two mixed. Near New Bedford. I'll be there on October 6th, October 7th and 8th. October 7th is the festival, so don't come on the 8th. You're probably not gonna find me, but I'll be at the festival on October 7th in New Bedford, which is gonna be a lot of fun. And I'm gonna pay through the teeth for the experience, because I gotta pay in yen, and my flight was really high, and the hotel is off the charts. I don't know why. I guess it's a Massachusetts price, or maybe it's just I got yen. It just feels worse because of the inflation and the fact that I pay in yen. But nevertheless, I'm pretty excited about this. Patrick's in New Hampshire. Yeah, come on out. You're gonna have some. I believe they have some Japanese street food. But I want you to learn about John Manjiro, who was the first Japanese to live in the United States. And there are Japanese students coming from Kochi Prefecture, which is where John Manjiro was born. And they're all coming over to the festival as well. So I'm going to interview them and talk about it for a main channel episode that I'm producing. I'm pretty excited about it. I got a chance to talk with the CEO of the Manjiro Friendship Club, and I'm going to interview him for the episode as well, and see some of the records from the 19th century. It's a pretty cool story, and I'd love to see you if you're in the area, so that'll be fun. I'll be filming, but I'll make some time to hang out a little bit. Are you going to Boston? No plans to go to Boston. I'd like to. I don't know. We'll see. My main focus is to go there and film the Whaling Museum and the John Manjiro Festival, and see the area that John Manjiro, the first Japanese to live in America, what kind of a place that he lived in. And it doesn't seem like the town has changed so much over the last couple. Maybe it has, but it seems like a lot of it has been preserved quite well, which I'm excited to go down and see. It's a beautiful area, that part of the U.S., that part of New England. New England in general is a really nice and beautiful part. I have a brother who lives in New England, and I'm always happy to go back to go and check it out. So getting back to the pass here, I want to hear from you. Leave me in the comments what you're going to be doing with your money. If you think that this pass increase is a deal breaker, if you're going to consider the Hokuriku Pass, if you're going to not come to Japan in general because this has ruined your trip. Come on, it hasn't done that. There's other ways to get around. You can rent a car, but look, domestically, I'm paying more for the highway, and the gas prices are up, so it feels worse to drive. The bus prices are going to go up really quickly. So for domestic, the passes are still a deal because you are a foreign tourist and you can get them, you know. So again, like I feel your pain, but I don't sympathize to it. It's the best way. Asaya used to live in Western Massachusetts. Hey, and Massachusetts isn't too big, but it's bigger than I thought it was when I looked at it. It's like, whoa, it's deceptively big, Massachusetts. There's a lot of stuff in there. I'm still buying, so this is from Doc Rock. So it's much worth it and relaxing and experimental. You know, once you get the pass, you got peace of mind. You don't have to worry about buying a ticket, you know. You got it. And it's nice to have it. Have you been to the Philippines? Not yet. I'd love to go. One of our moderators, Joy, is from the Philippines, and it'd be cool to see Joy. And we got a ton of viewers in the Philippines. So Kanai and I will probably go when Leo gets a little bit older, because we can't leave him behind. We'll check out Manila and then go down to the beaches and some of the beautiful places. Love to do it. Matsumi is in the house. How you doing, Matsumi? Some good comments here. It's interesting to see what your thoughts are. Satri, I'm just going by myself. I'm going for work. It's not a long trip. So to go with Leo for 1 week is not worth it. We're going to go for a month later on. We are. Yeah, so look, it is painful to pay the extra money, but I want you to think about it in terms of a local, because we gotta pay a crap load of money too, and our currency is like, it's not toilet paper, it's not worthless, it's worth something, but it's worth a lot less. And I want you to please consider that our feelings too, because we're paying more too, and the Shinkansen prices are going to go up too. Maybe not October 1st, because I think Japan, JR is going to raise the prices of the Shinkansen as well. The first price increase in quite a while. So we're going to see that go up. They were in the black, in the red for a long time, JR. They didn't lay off a lot of workers during the pandemic, despite the fact that no one was riding the trains. And I don't think they received a lot of government subsidies either. They probably received some. So I have to say, you know, Japan Rail is a pretty good company for doing the best for their workers and trying to maintain things, but they were in the red for a long time. That's the one company I don't want to see hurt. Everybody who's ever ridden JR, raise your hand and tell me that you've always had a pretty darn good experience. I want you to compare JR to Spirit Airlines, all right? Compare it to Amtrak. Compare it to any rail network in Europe, for that matter, all right? and tell me that JR is not the best. Japan Rail is the best, hands down. And the fact that they still charge such a price, I think, is a bargain. Clean trains. There's no trash. Everything is beautiful, immaculate, so convenient. Vending machines, food carts, everything. The stations are clean, easy to navigate. Oh, come on! Nobody can say that it is a ripoff, because Japan Rail is such a fantastic organization from top to bottom with a reputation. Their reputation means the world to them, and that's why they do the service that they do. It's not just because they're, because of the money. They do it because of the reputation. They realize they're also ambassadors to the country of Japan, but they're also a private business, all right? So they need to make money. So they can't take a loss and then continue to hire and keep the staff of professionals that they do. Impossible. Not with the price increases. I know that the staff is going to be getting raises as well, because I have friends who work at JR. So trains in Germany and the UK aren't great at times. They're not bad, but they're not great. Japan Rail is great, exceptional. Try to find a Shinkansen train that is not on time. It's rare. And when it isn't, when it's just a minute late, you'll get an apology from JR. A minute late, you get an apology. Please. Is that not worth a little bit more? 68% more? I don't know, but I think that it's not 68% more, because I think you were getting a bigger bargain than you were getting. Does that make sense? You're getting too big of a bargain, is what I want to say. That's my personal feeling. I think that everybody was getting a steal. So it says 68% increase. Let me put the price back up here. It's a 68% increase for the 14-day pass, I believe. But let's be real about it. Let's say it really is like a 25% increase, because they probably should have been raising the prices. It was just undervalued. So I want you to understand it in that sense. Everybody's been getting a discount for a very long time, and now they did this, which is not good. There was better ways to do it, but it hurts now because it looks bad. It looks bad, but apparently you can still get it at the normal price, and this is a 14-day pass. So if you can, snag it if you're coming in November, or make sure you read the fine print, and then you'll get the old price. But apparently from today, the prices have gone up. So there you go. I do my best to try to highlight some of this stuff here, and to make you feel better about your purchase. I'll one more time show you a picture of what you're paying for, to make you feel good about the product. It's pretty fast. That's the Tohoku Shinkansen. I always hope that people go up north to Tohoku. I think I did speed that up, because of the car that seems like it's going a little bit too fast. I think I just didn't have a lot of time for that scene. It's beautiful. You're paying for that. So pay. Come to Japan, pay. Don't be too upset, because I know Michael, but because everything for me has gone up in price. Everything has gone up. So it stinks. Hotels have gone up. The food has gone up. My lunch has gone up. Price of coffee went up. Starbucks went up. We get less for more, and it's just a reality now. And I'm gonna have to work harder at YouTube as well. There's lots of things that we start to feel the pain. Everybody is feeling it. But if you're on vacation, I say this, and J Jersey Girl, thank you again for saying this. She works in retail. She just worked a little bit harder, and she saved up so that she could have a better trip. And I think that's something that we have to continuously think about. It's not just, trust me, Thailand might be cheap now, but prices are going to go up there too. They're going to go up everywhere. But what makes Japan really special is the fact that it's 149 to the dollar. 149 to the dollar. Think about that. Even when I was here 25 years ago, and this is my 25th year, I didn't get this. I've never seen this in my time. Over this way. In my time, I've never seen this exchange rate. to the dollar. Never. Focus it there. So what? All right, this is max. If you max it out, this is, all right, these prices are from like the 1985. But I want you to see here, this is when I came to Japan, 1998. It was at a massive high. Do you see that there? And if you follow the trend line, it's been like around 120 to 100, getting down to like 77 yen during the bust. And now it's doubled. It's at 149. Again, you are getting such an amazing deal. And it's not just, the US. If you're an American traveler, why aren't you traveling? Travel more. You're never going to get a better chance to come to Japan than right now. And even though the prices have increased, I feel it more, but I think that you have nothing to complain about. You're going to feel it a little bit. You're going to feel good about your bargains just a little bit less. A little bit less. So I can't sympathize. Doc Rock writes in here, I always get green car and I always thought how this is sustainable. They deserve a raise. Always. And that moved up pretty fast here. Itsutsuboshi. Yeah, I think it's when you buying the green card, think about the people that you're supporting, I guess. A lot of people are tipping for stuff. These people don't get a tip, all right? They never get tips in Japan. So I want to make sure that they can keep their job then. JR did not lay off many workers. They asked some people to take a break or take paid breaks. And they had like all these programs to try to help to reduce the amount of red that they got into. But they're a pretty good organization and did a pretty good job by their workers. Michael Sasano writes in here, since prices in Japan are going up, then so will my super chat. What? Well, thank you, Michael. It did. Let's see here. That's a 33% increase if I did my math right. Well, thank you very much. That's my lunch right there, Michael. Thank you. I'll take a couple more questions and then John's got to go and get some work done. And I'll give you time where you can watch this episode online. Please do. Leave me a comment. I will definitely respond. I'll be checking the comments for this latest video on the main channel, and I will respond if you leave a message behind, because I love you guys. My family, my Hawaiian family too. We met somebody from Maui yesterday. That was really nice. They gave us some macadamia nuts. They weren't Jared quality macadamia nuts. Jared works at one of the hotels in Hawaii, and he brought these macadamia nuts. I've never tasted anything that was so amazing, but the ones that we got yesterday, I'm going to try those, and those look pretty good too. But Jared's on another level of macadamia nuts. And the ones Brandania brought, probably from Michael as well. Michael, those are pretty good. The salted macadamia nuts, we went through those like a lawnmower. Like macadamia paradise in this house. So thank you to our Hawaiian family for taking very good care of us. A lot of vitamins in those macadamias. So me and my friend bought the JR Rail Pass. If I go to pick it up, will I have to pay the difference? No. Rotten cylinder. This is the good news, and this is the biggest news. And if you're still watching, this is what you really need to do. If you're coming in the next month or two, you still have a chance, at least right now, to buy the pass at the original price before the price increase affects you at 2 p.m. on the East Coast in the U.S. maybe. I'm not sure. But apparently the prices are still there. So you can go ahead and get it as long as you can. I think I don't know if it's 90 days or 30 days. Please read the fine print before you take my word for it, because there could be some resellers that have 30 days and some resellers that have 90 days. I don't know. So make sure you read the fine print. But if you're coming in October or November, it seems like it would be safe to buy it in advance, and then you'd be able to activate it. They can't charge you more. What are they gonna? I never heard that before. They bring, oh, by the way, we raised the prices, and so we want you to pay the difference. That's not going to happen. You raise the prices, and then those that are grandfathered in don't. That's this 30 days if you bought directly from JR, 90 days if you bought from a third-party reseller. Thank you, Peso. So according to Peso, not me, that's who you blame in trouble. I'm hedging my liability here. 90 days if you buy from a reseller. So that means if you're coming in all the way up to December like 30th, you're pretty good to go by getting the JR Rail Pass at the original price for the next couple of hours or until the deal ends. And then they raise the prices. Doc Rock is from Hawaii. Aloha. I always, you know, viewers from the Philippines, because there's so many that are visiting, and from Hawaii, from the U.S. in general, and from Hawaii the most. I've never seen like so much love that comes from people when I meet them. Everyone's just so relaxed in those two countries and just so big smiles and so much love. It's incredible. So thank you. It's everybody from this community, because I think we have one of the best on YouTube, if not the best. But in particular, people from those countries have big smiles, and everybody's different, of course. But like just yesterday, you know, meeting somebody from Hawaii, like, wow, so friendly. They said hi. They knew my name, and they said it in a way like they knew me, and I felt like I knew them too by the interactions. I love that. That's cool. The price gone up on the third party. I got my voucher, so might be too late. Okay, so some resellers, JTB USA had it at the original price. So I guess it depends. And they might have changed it now as well. So it could be over, but there you go. And they gave him nuts. They did. I think I have it right here. Yeah, I got these two nuts here. Check it out. One is for Kanai, one is for me. Leo doesn't eat chocolate yet, which is a good thing. Yeah, these look good. Snack. Straight from Hawaii. Yeah, if you missed it, the biggest takeaway from this live stream, I sympathize. Wait, I feel your pain, but I don't sympathize. So take that away. I still love you, but I don't sympathize. Okay. The Hokuriku Pass price did not increase. And if tap your fingers, people listen. Because I don't have a table to bang. I do. Hokuriku Pass is, the price did not go up. Go for that. 7 days, same. It's cheaper than the JR Rail Pass, but if you're just going to Kansai and Kyoto, go via Kanazawa, have an adventure out of it, save some money, see the countryside. It's a win-win-win. When is he going to start eating chocolate? Kanai, the boss, said, all right, okay. Kanai, the boss, said at age 5, but I might have given him a piece of chocolate once. Don't tell her. I get in big trouble. I gave him a scone that had chocolate. I didn't quite, in my defense, I forgot that there was chocolate in the scone. I don't have a defense, but just don't tell her that I told you that Leo has already had chocolate and he knows. And we watch, and don't tell her that Leo and I, when Mom was not home, we watched Johnny Depp and the Chocolate Factory, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie together. And I explained to him, although he might not have understood, how amazing chocolate is, but he can't have it. And I didn't say that it was because of Mom. That would be cruel. But we did watch Charlie and Chocolate Factory together. And Kanai does not know. So don't tell her that either. Why am I telling you secrets? Painful. I have to tell somebody. Maybe that's why. I'm telling Joy. Joy, don't tell anybody. And Saya, you too. Did Leo lick the screen during the chocolate fountain scene? No, but he tried to jump through the TV and swim in there. No, he didn't try to do that. We were just sitting there watching it. You know, Peso, he can now watch a full-length movie. He used to only be able to watch like 1 minute Coco Melon videos. Now you can watch a full-length movie. So we're hoping to go to the cinema one time. Take him to go see Anpanman or something. He likes Anpanman. All kids do. Yeah, you are guys. You are sort of my surrogate family, because you know I lean on live streaming when the times are tough. So if I'm having a tough time, I might just go live just to and introduce something about Japan, just because it makes me happy to have you guys around. I can feel you there. I literally can feel it. Not, well, I feel you're there, but not like feel. You know what I mean? Like if there's a ghost over my shoulder, I can sense that it's there, but of course there's nothing there. But it's a ghost. I can't sense anything right now. You know what I mean? You ever sense something was wrong or something was around, or you sense a cat but you can't see it? You sense you're being watched right now. I know you're watching me and I'm not watching you, but I can sense that, you know, I'm being watched right now. It's a cool feeling. All right, we're having fun here, but not many direct questions. I'll take one more. I'm hungry. Final question. Tomorrow I'm flying to Kagoshima at I gotta wake up at 5:30 in the morning, so I have to make the most out of today. My wife and I will be there in 19 days. Greg, welcome. Satrio, I could feel you coming when you were running down the streets in Ginza. I could feel it, sort of. Poe and the Go, thank you. Please do hit that like button. I do appreciate it. Please hit the like button on the Hiroshima video. I'd rather you hit the like button here. I will not give up on that video. I'm not going to give up on it. I already wrote to YouTube and I said it's, you know, remove the flags. Please suggest it. It's a video that'll change people's opinions on the city of Hiroshima in a positive way. Confirming the Manjiro Festival is in Fairhaven. Thank you, Patrick. Fairhaven, Massachusetts. Don't go to Fairview and look for me there. I'm in Fairhaven and New Bedford and the Whaling Museum. It's a great area. Shout out to Fairhaven and the John Manjiro Friendship. Learn more about this guy, man. It's one of the most fantastic stories that you'll ever read about. John Manjiro. Yeah, how's Akihabara? You know, I haven't been in Akihabara for a while. Let's go there in October. We'll do a stream in Akihabara when I get back. Before I go to the U.S., let's do something like that. Akihabara is the same. It has been pretty crowded since tourism returned, but I'm not sure what it's like after the summer rush. A lot of younger people, school was out, a lot of young people in Akihabara, but I'm guessing that it's still pretty crowded. It's a popular place. I don't know why to stay. I don't know why. There's better areas to stay, and I think Asakusa is a much better area to stay than Akihabara. Maybe Ueno, unless you're focused on Okachimachi, but I think that you could stay in Ueno and have that market vibe right outside your door. You want to go to a place that's really nice at night. I don't think Akihabara is that nice at night. All right. It's not a nighttime place. A lot of these unless you're like a maid cafe person, it's not a nighttime place in the same way that Asakusa with the Hoppy Street has for nightlife, like this authentic, like a rural, authentic, like old-time drinking atmosphere and restaurant atmosphere in Asakusa. That's a reason to stay there. But you know, Okachimachi and Amayoko Market is so vibrant at night. I don't know why you wouldn't want to stay where the hotels are a little bit cheaper there. You know, doesn't make sense to me. And Ueno is accessible from the Skyliner, so it's a pretty straight shot to there on Keisei Skyliner. Is it the Keisei or Keio? Or Keisei, I think. So you may want to take that. Yogoku, the sumo area, is also a really good deal. Usually the hotels are cheaper. You can walk to Asakusa from Ryogoku, and the Skytree is really close as well. And you have the sumo wrestlers walking around all day. So you only bump into them if you're staying the night there, because there's not a lot of reason to walk around Ryogoku. But if you walk around Ryogoku, over time you start to bump into sumo wrestlers, which is cool. You probably literally bump into them. They're kind of large. They're on the trains. It's muscular large too. Trust me, it is not what you think. All right. When those guys take off their shirts, they look fat. It's not. Fat people, it's not. As somebody who just shed quite a bit of weight, I remember what I looked like. I jiggled a lot. I jump and I shook. It's still kind of there. But the point is that sumo wrestlers are not like that. It's very muscular. I remember I pushed one. He said, go ahead, do it. And I did it. And it's like, wow, they're built. I guess you don't know if you're asking. Okay, so good questions. Thank you, everybody. A lot of comments here. There's no CC. So what reasons for price hike? Because it's near double. The price hike is, I think I pretty much made that clear, but the price hike is because they hadn't raised it in a very long time. They know that tourists are paying 150 yen to the dollar right now, and this is too cheap. Locals can't get this pass. But the biggest overall factor is that the Shinkansen line, and I'm saying this with pure, I'm saying this, and I'm genuine when I say this, the Tokaido line, in particular between Osaka, Kyoto, and Tokyo, is too crowded, and they don't want so many people, and it's a business decision. This is a pure, straight-up business decision, and it's fueled by JR Central. There's regional passes, all right? JR Central. It's too crowded. It's already too full. They don't need pass holders paying a really cheap price to ride the Tokaido Shinkansen anymore. They're going to be full without it. And the vast majority of people, and I'm talking like 80% of those getting the JR Rail Pass, are getting it to go back and forth to Kyoto, Osaka, and riding the Tokaido Shinkansen, which is already overcrowded. So they want, I don't think that's going to change because they raised the price. So why not raise the price and get money out of it if you can, and people are still going to ride it anyways, and maybe they'll get less people, but it's a good business decision on their part. You might not like the price and you might not pay for it, but they're still going to make bank. All right? Just what it is. Avoid Tokyo Osaka line. Get the Hokuriku Arch pass. That's your final takeaway from this. Go to Kanazawa. The 7-day pass is cheaper than the 7-day pass for the JR Rail Pass before the price increase. It's 25,000 yen, 24,000 yen. What is that? $200, and you can go for 1 week of Shinkansen going to Kanazawa, and then a Super Express limited train, which is really comfortable, going to Osaka, Kyoto. Do it. Do it. Do it. Never thought I'd hear myself say that. Do it. Okay? Mark it. Bookmark it. Heart it. Like it. Keep it. Favorite it. Whatever. Hokuriku Pass. See the countryside. All right, there you go. Where to go as a senior citizen. First of all, don't call yourself a senior citizen because senior citizens in Japan start at age 90. So life expectancy is just ridiculously high here. I don't know. It depends on how good you can move. So, every senior citizen is different. I'd say go to the onsen because you feel the waters are healing and they really loosen up the muscles. And as I get a little bit older, I find myself enjoying a hot bath with the healing waters of the geothermal waters from the ground with all those minerals in there. So there you go. I don't know. Do it. All right, that's all. I can stay here forever, but I got to get back to work and eat something. I'm doing this fasting thing, and I haven't eaten since 6 p.m. yesterday, and it's 1:30 p.m. the next day. I'm not even that hungry, which is weird. That means I am still a spring chicken. UFO Bob, you're not a spring chicken. You're just a chicken, but you're not a senior chicken, and that's the point. Spring chicken. You think, do I look like a spring chicken? Don't answer that. All right, have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow or tonight, as I do plan on doing a director's cut talking about this. I'll probably do that tonight, talking about this atomic bomb train episode tonight on this channel. Give you some of the background of that story because I think it's pretty significant. Interviewing a 92-year-old atomic bomb survivor is always going to be an experience, and for me, like I'm blown away by the history that she saw through her eyes. I could meet Taylor Swift. If I could meet Taylor Swift or a survivor of the atomic bomb, I probably would be more open-eyed at the atomic bomb survivor because I just can't believe, that she's has that story to me. And by the way, I'd like to meet Taylor Swift too, so I can't. But I don't actually know any of her music. It would be fun to meet her. On a midnight snack run, I'm sure I'll have that coming up soon. Not for a few days at least. Maybe tonight. I don't know. Maybe I'll do maybe I'll do a midnight snack run tonight. I'm not sure. We'll see. Bye bye. Mata ne.